You're such an asshole.
AssholeConsulting.com I wouldn't say the most obscure, not obscure is the wrong word. We have a very unique request. And young man writes, and he provides two links, truecapitalist.wikia.com/wiki/history of ghost, and then tvtropes.org, True Capitalist. You guys can Google searches and find this on your own. It says, I've been in this guy's orbit for a year learning about politics and business. He's a great pundit, but he seems to not have knowledge about himself and falls into the same self-destructive patterns over and over again. What do you think the cause is? And I say, well, wait, you want me just to read through these two articles and then listen to a bunch of his podcasts and exactly what do you want me to do? And he says, I thought maybe, I'm just trying to get to the meat and bones here. Haggling on price, me saying it's going to take, because this guy has 500 episodes of a podcast. So right there, if you guys want to listen, please tune in. True Capitalist Radio. He's not my cup of tea. But I mean, if there was nothing else that I could listen to, you'll find out my opinion here later. Where do we go? Okay, good. And I said, okay, John, can you tell me how he falls into self-destructive patterns? Downloaded about a dozen of his podcasts. They're 3 hours each. But it would help if I had the context as to why I think he's got issues would help. So as he goes through these boom and bust cycles, he does his show, then extends the show, then he gets trolled too much and he quits for a period of time. The History of the Ghost page documents all the major events where this has happened. And basically he started, I think, about 2008, and it came and went 2 or 3 times. He has been wanting to know for years what he has been doing to get the ridiculous number of trolls he has, especially from the brony contingent, which most of the internet hates for a good reason. It would be great if there was something he could do to get the bronies to scram because he can't contain them with radio graffiti. And what radio graffiti is, this last segment of his show where he allows people to call in and for a couple seconds or 30 seconds say whatever they want or play whatever they want. And the troll show. Is there something Ghost is doing that is attracting them specifically that we could tell Ghost to stop doing? Basically, how can Ghost reduce the number of trolls he has, or at least get rid of the brony trolls? I say, okay, so I listen. And it's one of two things. And it's one of these two things. One, I think either you misunderstand the show or Ghost doesn't understand trolls. And I'm not sure which one it is, because it's hard to tell, but I'm going to err on, if I had to put my money on it, I'd say there's a 55% chance Ghost is doing this on purpose. Now let me explain for the listening audience what happened. He comes in, he does pretty much an opening segment, kind of like I do with my podcast, just chit-chatting, regular stuff going on. Then he does a financial segment, which is kind of almost too literal for me, but he goes over prices of precious metals, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, the various markets, NASDAQ, things like that. Certainly nothing wrong with that, informational. And then there is the last segment where he has call-in shows, but then he also allows radio graffiti, which allows people to get off their system to get these trolls out. But the guy's personality is explosive. It's like he'll get pissed off and you hear him ruffling the papers and knocking over dishes and everything. And especially when he gets comments or trolls, he gets all pissed off. I think that's the gimmick. I think it's an act. I think that maybe at one time he might have gotten pissed off. But if you read through the history of True Capitalist Radio, which used to be True Conservative Radio, he got discovered by 4chan, or the other boards, but just these not even, can't say troll organizations, but these popular discussion boards and media sites, and they started trolling him because they got such a reaction out of him. And what I think happened is he started to see his numbers go up because of all these people who purposely were trolling him. So it's what's called a symbiotic relationship, although typically in symbiotic relationships there's like, it's both entities, both animals help each other out. So like these birds that are standing on the back of rhinoceroses, you say, what are those birds doing, getting a free ride? Well, they're picking the fleas and the parasites off of the rhinoceros. But to the untrained eye, it looks like the trolls are actually parasiting off of Ghost, when in reality, that's what his show is the agitation and these damn fools, and that's what gets these people coming back. And that's what gets Ghost his ratings. It makes him money. But perfect is another example. Let's take a look at it this way. The best week I ever had in my life, in the history of all my online media, was when the tabloid world, the People magazine, the Daily Mail, the people that buy those stupid magazines and that check a lane, where that realm, that section of media, I went viral, made international headlines with, not the New York Times or Wall Street Journal, but, this low-ranked, the bottom feeder type of media. Because I wrote a piece that Mad Max was a feminist show, or was being advertised as a feminist show, and I didn't want to go see it. And I think Return of Kings got 5 million hits that week, or some ungodly amount of traffic came through. And I was enemy number one, and then it went away. But that was my best week ever. You want to know why? Because any publicity is good publicity. I got a 20% jump. That normally takes at least a year and a half for me to get a 20% jump in readers, followers, subscribers. Because what they won't tell you is that out of the thousands, tens of thousands of people that hate you and you're this and you're that, and now let's troll this guy, let's pick on him, there's a 5 to 10, maybe even 20% contingent of people who actually like the guy, and then you get those fish. You net those fish. So I think that's part of his show is the trolls. He may act like he doesn't like these trolls, and he gets all pissed off, and you hear him making noise and everything like that. And it could even be part of his personality that he actually does get annoyed. Like, God damn it, but then he capitalizes on that energy and then starts making noise and gets really pissed off to benefit the show. But I do believe it's a symbiotic, mutually beneficial relationship. The trolls get to troll somebody and pick on Ghost. Ghost gets more people tuning into his show. And dude's been doing it, it goes on and off. I would, he doesn't go away that long. It's been like, I think 4 months, 5 months. He took a hiatus or a sabbatical. But then he comes back, and I know that's life. Sometimes he's got to go and you got to tend to family matters or whatever. But that's why I'd say 55% of the chances. 45% chance Ghost really hates the trolls and thinks that doing this stuff is going to get rid of them and appease them. And if that's the case, Ghost simply doesn't understand trolls. Trolls are like mold. If you feed them bread, they will breed. There will be more of them. And that's why they say don't feed the trolls. Trolls, unless you're doing it professionally or just for shits and giggles, most trolls are losers that have nothing else going on in life. All right? And then that's why they need somebody else to go and make fun of. And if that person doesn't respond to them and doesn't react to them, they inevitably go away because they're not getting that fix. They're not getting that reaction, that counter attention. You get somebody like Ghost, and this is assuming he actually does get pissed off at these trolls. Well, not only do you get the loser trolls that literally have nothing else to do but troll this old man who's yelling and rambling on the internet, it becomes like a sporting troll event where like, hey, you know what, we know we're going to get a reaction out of this guy. He gets popular enough, he gets enough of a following, and then people are like, yeah, let's troll him, let's play this, let's say something about his mother or whatever else, let's gizzle his goozle, and then Ghost gets pissed off because he doesn't understand the nature of trolls. If he just did a monologue, didn't have a call-in show, didn't do radio graffiti, didn't get pissed off when trolls call in, didn't get pissed off when there was trolls on the chat room, they would go away because they wouldn't be getting a reaction out of them. That's as simple as he does not understand the nature of trolls and how to get rid of them. So if you really are concerned about, you don't want Ghost to go away, and how do we get rid of these trolls? How do we get rid of the bronies? Simple. Have him never mention these people again. Right? Because if he mentions them, they get notoriety, they get, what's what I'm looking for, not vindicated. They get some notoriety, they get validated, they get mentioned, and they get their little dopamine fix, they get their hit, they get their endorphin hit. So they'll keep coming back for more. But if he just never mentions them again, they will go away because they won't get that fix. But what I'm afraid of in your particular case is I don't think I don't think he actually is pissed off at the trolls. I don't think that that he wants to get rid of them. I think it's part and parcel of his show, which unfortunately you as a particular reader, I think other people do tune in. Certainly the trolls tune in. A large percentage of his audience tunes in to hear the trolls, whereas you do not. And you're like, oh my God, I wish he'd get rid of the trolls. Well, that's you, but that's not the majority of his audience. So I'm unfortunately willing to say, there's a larger than 50% chance that he knows about the trolls. That's part of the show. And unfortunately, if the trolls go away, he'd still have a show, but again, it would be a monologue. It completely changed the dynamic, and I don't know if it necessarily fits his personality. So that's just kind of it's the necessary evil of true capitalist radio is the trolls. So, but I don't know, maybe he could do it. He certainly, nothing says he can't just do a monologue, do a separate show where there's no call and he just talks about it. That's certainly a solution that he can have. Or he just stops taking calls altogether, and it's just him talking. He won't have to deal with trolls ever again. But I'm suspicious that for the most part, the trolls are an intentional and purpose part of the show. And if this makes you feel any better, Ghost is taking advantage of them more than they're taking advantage of him. He's definitely using them for the benefit of himself and the show. So I think if he takes sabbaticals, he comes and goes, and he may claim it's for the trolls. Truthfully, I think it's just life, or he gets tired of it. I mean, I get tired. Everyone gets tired of doing it. People take breaks. But yeah. Anyway, hope that helped out. Hope it explained True Capitalist Radio. Just search it, guys. True Capitalist Radio. Like I said, maybe not my cup of tea, but definitely he's kind of ranty. He's different. He's from Texas, and if you like financial markets and cryptocurrency, yeah, you guys might like it. So check out True Capitalist Radio. We'll see you guys later. Tools.